Hey guys, how's it going? This is Brad. I'm just simply trying to get my stream set up here and working properly. So I think we're ready to go. Tonight we're going to finish covering the EBP missile deflection, and so I want to go ahead and just kind of pick up where we left off, which specifically we were covering. Give me just a minute while I try to work on my monitor for a second here. Not exactly sure why the screen is blinking. Okay, I think that should help a little bit. Alright, so let's get back to it here. Let me do one more thing. There we go, that should be a little bit better. Alright. Trying to get the green screen to play nicely. Okay, so today we're going to cover mainly the EBP missile deflection, and I would definitely like to get back over to a little bit of code cleanup and specifically object inheritance and file system updates, and what else is related to that? Removing duplicate code. In addition, I spent some time last night since yesterday's stream. I spent some time working on setting up attract mode, and I've got that to a pretty good state. I'm not necessarily going to show that off right now. I still have some work to do on that, but once I get that into a good state, I'll walk you through how I got this set up, what exactly is working and in place. As you know, attract mode is pretty essential to an arcade game. Sometimes attract mode is called display mode, sometimes it's called demo mode, but basically it's the mode the game goes into when no one's playing the game. So if it goes to, let's say, the start screen, and it maybe waits for no more than about 10 seconds, and then once 10 seconds is up, it will then jump over to the game and just start demoing gameplay. The purpose of it is to attract passersby, and since we are creating an arcade game, our goal is definitely to have an attract mode in place so that we can attract people as they walk by the display. I'm going to turn this music down just a little bit. Okay, great. So I've also got Chris in here. He is in chat, and he's telling me that he's currently working on the orb explosion for Gaki. Basically, we have added to the deck, to the game, we've basically added the ability to deflect the EBP ghost missile. If you've recently joined us, you're familiar with that. Also, when you get to Gaki, one of Gaki's attacks, Gaki is the boss at the end of the first level, one of his attacks shoots orbs out with a display of lightning as well. And anything that touches you related to the lightning or the orbs, then you can potentially die. So we wanted to give Skycurser / Guy the ability to, while he's navigating in and out of those orbs, to be able to potentially just swipe and slash and deflect the orb back to Gaki as well and cause some damage. So one thing I definitely have to implement is the ability for the orb to do to basically destroy itself as soon as it collides with Gaki. Right now it does collide with Gaki. It only momentarily collides with him to take out a few hits. If you could just give me a second, I've got to take this phone call. Sorry about that, guys. Back to the stream. So, so where was I? So basically we have to work on making the orb explosion only contact / collide with Gaki once, and as soon as it does, it should be destroyed. Right now it's contacting with him potentially multiple times. Additionally, Gaki, the end boss of the first level, does not he does not currently flash every time he takes an impact from something. He takes damage every time he takes an impact. So we have 3 weapons, as you know, as you're familiar with. The 3 weapons are the Vulcan cannon, the shotgun, which basically has similar bullets that are not visible to the Vulcan cannon, and also the katana blade. So so we need to basically update this so that the orb reconnects with Gaki. And so what I'm going to do, just like I have done every stream up to this point, I'm going to go ahead and play the game and show you what specifically we'll be working on, and then just approach it from that direction. I'll get all the way to Gaki, I'll play all the way through to Gaki, and then I'll show you the orbs. Right now, probably the thing to do is to look out for the orbs as they can contact / connect with Gaki. They just currently fly right through Gaki, and we're going to change that with today's stream. So let's go ahead and get into the game and look at that. Okay, game is almost finished loading. Okay, great. Looks like we're in game here.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
Okay, I'm just playing through. In just a moment, the EBPs, or the eyeball planes, are going to come onto screen. I'll show you that we can successfully deflect the EBP missiles. These are them, the EBP missiles. The EBP missile also destroys the EBP if it connects with the EBP. We also set the EBP up, the EBP ghost missile up, so that it will kill anything, well, almost kill anything in its path. It deals 150 damage to almost to everything that it touches except another eyeball missile, and most everything has less than 150 health, save Gaki himself and the tank carrier. So definitely it's worth it to deflect the EBP, as it can deal a lot of damage. one thing I'm realizing that I'm going to have to add into the EVP missile is that I'm going to have to make sure that the EVP missile does additional damage, specifically on the well, not additional damage, but creates an additional kill. You'll get a bonus kill if you kill anything with the EVP missile. So we're going to deal with that here in a second. Here's the orb flying back to Gaki. I'll show you one more time. It goes through the sequence here. We basically make the connection with any orb go in the opposite direction that it's coming in. So depending on what angle it is, we basically add/subtract 180 degrees to that, and then it flies exactly the opposite direction. That's it, pretty much. That's a playthrough of all of level 1 up to this point, which is the majority of what we have programmed, so you have gotten a chance to see that up to this point. Also, now what we're going to do is go back in and make sure that the orbs get destroyed as soon as they contact Gaki, and that the EVP does creates additional kills for Guy as soon as they connect with another enemy. Alright, so
Skycurser.
make sure I turn Skycurser off. It's still one to play. Okay, let's try that again. Alright. So, where are we going to pick up from where we left off? We're going to pick up at the specific objects. One of the objects that we will be affecting is the enemy object boss 1 attack orb, and the enemy 1 attack, which is also right here. Just going to do a little reorganizing while I'm working as well. Just keep this a little bit tight. Okay, and then the next thing so let's go look at the step event of this particular item. Step event calls script weapon attack once it has flipped. And so we're going to go back to script weapon attack. And in this particular case, we are passing in the object enemy 1 attack. So the one thing that we wanted to do was, as soon as this connects with any enemy, we're going to give a bonus point in terms of kills. So I will add one more check in here for each one of these at the moment. If hit.hp is less than or equal to 0, that means the enemy is going to get destroyed, and the enemy takes care of that itself once it drops below 0 hit points, and I'll show that to you right here. So that is under enemies, enemy 1, and enemy 1 die. If the argument 0.hit points is less than or equal to 0, do this animation and then destroy yourself. So it basically destroys itself right there. But the main thing I was trying to show you is that it takes care of itself when it's time to be destroyed. Additionally, I wanted to add one more thing in here. Let me see if I should add it in. I think this is probably going to be the most obvious place to add this, because I'll be able to add this in for every single unit right here. So I'm going to do that right now. If hit.hp is less than or equal to 0, score plus equals 1. So this is not only going to give one extra kill for you not only get the kill for killing object enemy 1, you also get the kill because the EBP ghost missile connected with it. Let me show you the other location that we also give a score plus 1. So it should be under object enemy 1 on destroy, score plus equals 1. If instance exists, score plus equals 1. And I think this is fine to do. I see what I'm doing here in terms of score plus equals 1. But I'm also writing this if condition around score plus equals 1 in this instance to make sure Skycurser is still alive. There's a high likelihood that Skycurser could die while he's deflecting the EBP ghost missile. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to I'm gonna leave this one alone, but I'm also going to let the other one still connect as I think it should without doing that check to make sure Skycurser is still alive. So just leave that right there, and basically it's similar code on down. Let me see here. So I got to make sure that I'm writing this in this particular code block because I don't want to incorrectly provide an extra hit or an extra kill when there should not be one. The EBP cannot connect with itself. So if the argument 0.object index is equal to object Skycurser Katana, then we're running the EBP ghost missile information here. But yeah, so we saw a minute ago that I'm passing in not only I'm calling this script from one location right now, which is in the Katana's location for its attack, but I'm also calling this script in the location that I showed you when I started just a minute ago, where this script is called by the object enemy 1 attack. So it passes itself in as an argument, its own ID in as an argument. So there are, at this point, there are two different objects that could come through here and try to run this script. I only want to run this particular one right here if Skycurser Katana is what is attacking the ghost missile. I don't want the ghost missile to be able to attack itself, so I do this check to make sure it's a Katana. Beyond that, most everything else I'm okay with it connecting. So I'm going to set this up correctly for all these other ones. Let me do that really quickly here, and we'll verify that you get extra score whenever you make this connection. Hit 3, enemy 3, hit 3 does not equal no one. We want it to be in there. Hit 3.hp, less than or equal to 0, give a score plus 1. Pardon me. And then enemy 4, we're okay with having a score plus 1 here. I'm not okay with having a score plus 1 on the enemy 4 attack. The enemy 4 is our fly that comes in when the Necrostar chunks are flying at Guy, about close to midway through the level. And the fly comes in, but it also shoots out its attack, which is kind of like a vomit attack. Kind of like a fly would do, but we don't want to. Right now, we don't give any extra kills for connecting with the eyeball with the fly attack. So I don't want to give any extra kills right here for connecting with the bubble with the ghost eyeball missile. All right, less than or equal to 0. Score plus equals 1. Wow, okay. Well, I'm going to do the same thing here that I did up above, which is right now I'm dealing with the bubble eyeball. Right now if the Skycurser katana connects with the bubble eyeball, which is the small blue eyeball that comes out of the bottom of the carrier tank. Right now, if you shoot it with a Vulcan cannon, then the Vulcan cannon or the shotgun, then one of the popcorn eyeballs comes flying out of that little cocoon that is currently the bubble eyeball or the BEB. So we give bonus points right now. If you slash that bubble eyeball with the katana, you basically get 2 kills. You get the kill for the bubble eyeball and you get the kill for the popcorn eyeball. If you shoot, well, like I said, right now, if you shoot with the katana, with the, I'm mixing my words up so much tonight. If you shoot with the Vulcan cannon or shoot with the shotgun, you get 1 kill against the bubble eyeball, but you may or may not get the 2nd kill with the popcorn eyeball. So if you slash with the katana, we just give them both to you, so that's a little bit less work for you. However, what I want to do is check the object index of what's being passed through here. So object index is equal to object Skycurser katana. Then go ahead and run this, else run my code right here, which is plus equals 1 for the only other thing that it can be. The only other thing that it can be right here is the eyeball plane missile, the ghost missile. But I'm seeing a place right here where I can save a little bit of code. I think what I'm going to do is take this score plus equals 1, put it down here, and I think I can remove then all this entire else statement. So this score plus equals 1 will happen either time that the katana comes through here or the EBP missile comes through here and attacks the bubble eyeball. Let me see. Also, if the EBP missile connects with this, we want to make sure that we are setting another variable which will prevent the I think what we'll do here is just prevent the EBP missile from also generating the popcorn eyeball as well. So I'm just going to give it a death by EBP, let's just say ghost missile. And I think what this is controlling, if I'm correct here, I'll go verify this right now. I'll step away from this just for a second. I think what this is controlling is whether or not the popcorn eyeball gets generated. So I want to see that, and we should be able to see that by finding object enemy 5. Let's look at the destroy. Yes, we are doing an instance create. If death by mini blast or death by shotgun, then do the instance create. I think I'm okay with still setting death by on the ghost missile and not doing anything with it here, because right now if the kill is attributed to the mini blaster or the shotgun, then we're generating the object enemy 3. But you saw in the code a second ago that I'm attributing the death to the katana or the ghost missile in our new case here. And I'll just go ahead and leave this here. Normally I wouldn't do this because if we're not using it I would take it out, but since I have all these other pieces in place to say what this particular one was killed by, I think I'll go ahead and leave this one in here just in case I decide to use this in the future. So let's just leave that guy there. Score plus equals 1 no matter what. Okay, additionally, I need to make sure that I add this additional code with the other enemies. We're getting close to being finished with this. Eyeball plane, carrier. I don't think we're going to kill the carrier with an EBP, but if you do, you get an extra kill. Right now, the kill to the carrier itself gives you 1 kill, and we had some discussions about this. We think that's correct. we don't want to give like 5 kills for carrying a carrier, or like 20 kills for killing a big object. We want to just give 1 kill, just like everything else, just to kind of give the player an idea of what they should be spending their time with and on. Of course, you get the kill. If you kill the carrier, you get an additional kill, or for each one of the eyeballs that sit on top of the carrier, you get an additional kill for those guys. So best case scenario, the literal best thing to do with the carrier itself is to kill the eyeballs on top of the carrier, and then to also kill the bubble eyeballs that the carrier drops out of the cargo door. And if you kill right now, actually, if you kill the 3 eyeballs on top of the carrier itself dies. So there's a maximum 3 kills that you can get by killing the 3 eyeballs on top, because that takes care of the carrier. You basically destroy the carrier at that point as well. But you can get many more additional kills if you kill the bubble eyeballs with the katana. So we're in a good spot here. I think I have that exactly the way I want it. Tank 1 EB carrier eyeball. Yep, I will go ahead and give an extra kill for the eyeballs that sit on top of the plane if the EBP connects, the EBP missile connects. Let me see here. Flashing. Right now I don't see where the death occurs with these guys, and I think what that means, it's either in this script right here, or it's in the script itself of where those particular items are called. Okay, so what I'm going to do really quick while I'm in the middle of this is I'm going to go check out Object Tank 1 EB, Object Tank 1 Eyeball. What happens on step event if hit points is less than or equal to 0. So I actually kill the EB right here. Otherwise, I allow the eyeball on top of the tank to collide with Skycurser. I do some explosions on the tank, or sorry, that's not correct, on the eyeballs themselves that sit on top of the tank. And here's where I actually do the destroy. I'll set a variable on these guys so that they can know if they were attacked by the eyeball missile. So we will say, similar to how we did it with the, what was the one we were just looking at? I'm trying to think which enemy that was. That was the bubble eyeball. We're going to do the same thing here. Death by equals, I'm just going to say, can I say null here? I don't think I can based on what I just saw. Nil. Nope, nil does not work. How about nothing? Death by nothing. And we will say if death by is equal to ghost missile, then score plus equals 1. And we got to make sure that this gets set on this particular item. So we're going to go do that right now. If argument 0 dot object index is equal to the object enemy 1 attack, which is the ghost missile, then let's say hit 5. I'm doing this incorrectly here. Tank 1, EB. Okay, gotta make sure I'm doing this right. Tank 1, let's go look at tank 1 real quick. It creates tank EB1, tank EB2, and tank EB3. Tank eyeball 1, tank eyeball 2, tank eyeball 3. Dot death by equals ghost missile. Tank 1, EB1, 2 dot death by equals ghost missile. Tank 1, EB3 dot death by equals ghost missile. Okay. One other thing I'm realizing on these other ones here is, since I pointed out a minute ago that this script is being ran both by the katana and by the eyeball ghost missile. I want to make sure that this doesn't happen with both of them, only with the ghost missile. I don't want to give extra score mostly for the katana, so I've got to do this check for most of these. So here's what I'll do is script object type, and then I'll pass in a string, and I'll say object enemy 1 attack, and score plus equals 1. So I'm going to write a script real quick, and we'll make sure that it does a check to see what the particular object type is, and we'll reuse it over and over again here, so we don't have to keep writing this code and duplicating code, because we can also do the same thing for the katana once we finish writing this. So let's do a helper. Create script. We're going to call it script object type, and say if argument 0 dot object index is equal to I'm actually going to say if argument 0. Let me think for a second. I will leave it at object index, but I'm going to have to pass another variable in and say is equal to argument 1, return true. Okay, let's just do this. Do set a variable. The variable will be object type equal false. Object type equals true. Return object type. So what we're going to do here is we're basically setting up a Boolean check. A Boolean is a check for true or false. If it's true, run this condition. If it's not true, or in other words, if it's false, run a particular condition. So the way that I would check that in the script that I'm currently writing, and let me pass one more item in here, which is argument 0 dot ID, so that I'm passing that through to this script, and it automatically recognizes that I went and wrote a script now. So it says script object type, take the current argument that is running through this script, the current instance of the object that we're working with that's calling this script, and also do a check for this particular object right there. So I'm going to, I'm basically going to go to, when I hit here, I'm going to say if what's inside of here is true, then run this. If it's false, then it will not run this. If I wanted it to say false, I could say not false by putting an exclamation point there, or I could say bitwise equal to false, and it would also check for that. This may work, but bitwise equal to false should definitely work. I'm going to just say if true, score plus equals 1. And now I can reuse this. Even though it looks like a little bit more than what I had previously, it has to be a little bit more because I don't want this to also run with the katana. So I'm going to run that right there. And I'm okay with it running with the katana and with the EBP missile right here. So score plus equals 1 there. I'm fine with doing that. This would be... So I might as well do an else here because I've got if this is greater than 0. Why don't I just make sure this is an else and do this kind of the way it should be done. I usually put my else's on the same line. Actually, just going to leave it like this because I'm not doing an else if. I guess I normally put my else ifs on the next line. So else score plus equals 1 there, and I want to make sure that I'm connecting with the EBP missile. So here's my code again, my call to the script. I want to make sure that this is the object enemy 1 attack, same as the EBP missile. Let's check here. Doing the same thing here where I'm unnecessarily saying if hit points is less than or equal to 0. The reason why I don't just leave them both in there is because this is actually a little bit less efficient than to have the else in there. Mainly because this block of code will run every time, or I should say at least this check on this if conditional will run every time, and this check will run every time. When I gain a little bit of efficiency out of my script by changing this to an else. Because I definitely want this to run every other time that this condition is not true. But this particular block of code and anything associated with this block of code will never run unless this evaluates to false. So from here, I want to go ahead and add the check to make sure it's the ghost missile. Again, check to make sure it's the ghost missile right here. Let's see, this one I can rewrite this one right here to check for the object Skycurser katana. So what I'll do is this. Do that. Skycurser katana. Okay, I'm good there. Give me just a moment. Okay, so we've got the new check for object Skycurser katana running in this block where the ghost missile is. I can also, let me see here. I don't even need this check right here. This is a duplicate check because I've already got this check going right here. So I'm going to remove this check altogether, and we can run this every time because this will only run when we need it to. Okay, and then I'm also going to run that check, that same check that I had right here to check for the object type. Pass in the ID that's going through the script currently and also check for this object type or this particular object, and then do the same check right here, not for the katana but for object enemy 1 attack. Okay, so that we're doing a couple of extra of those checks right here. I'm going to make sure we're checking for the correct items here. I don't need to have these written the way they are. Say else if, I'm going to write an else on here, else if script object type is object enemy 1 attack, attack. We're also passing the orb into here, so we have to be aware of that. But this is what this is telling me, so I'm checking to make sure the katana's being passed in. I know that the EBP Ghost Missile is being passed in, and I apparently know that the orb is being passed in, which I did yesterday at the end of the day. Also, I'm doing a check right here to see if this is the Skycurser katana, so I can have this code reused right here. Add that. Script. Check to make sure it's the katana. Doing the enemy one attack check. Skycurser katana check. Enemy one attack. Enemy one attack. Enemy one attack for the fly. I'm okay with both of these occurring on the bubble eyeball. Checking for the enemy one attack on the carrier, and that's if you happen to kill the carrier, which is highly unlikely with the EBP Ghost Missile, so not likely to happen. Okay, we're doing the enemy one attack check here, but we also want to set one more in here because I'm not doing the check for hit 5. Oh, I guess hit 5 in this case is very particular. Hit 5, actually, I was thinking hit 5 applied to the carrier, and it kind of does apply to the carrier because these are the carrier eyeballs, but more importantly, I'm setting these variables here, which are correctly setting the variables, but I can probably do, because hit 5 can count for literally any object tank 1 EB. Hey babe. I may not need to be so specific on the death by here. I'm trying to think through my head if there's a possibility that death by could run before it should on any item. And I don't think it could because I've got the hit point check first before I'm checking to see if you know what particularly killed the eyeball on top of the carrier. So I'm going to try this first and reduce code. Hit 5 dot death by equals Ghost Missile. And now we're looking at the Necro Star. The eyeball missile won't be able to do anything to the Necro Star. Not gonna let it do anything but potentially connect with the soft spot on the Necro Star. I'm okay with that, but I'm not gonna give it an extra point. We don't want to give it an extra point where it's unnecessary. We don't currently give anybody an extra point for killing anything with the Necro Star or connecting with the point of the Necro Star, the soft spot. Okay, boss 1. Here's where we need to control the orb impact. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna fix this to refer to the script that we just set up. I'm seeing again that I wrote some duplicate code. I'm gonna remove that duplicate code. This check is inside of this check, so I'm certain that I wrote this first, and then I decided that I only wanted to run this whole piece right here of if it was a Skycurser Katana impact. So I'm just gonna remove this duplicate code now. And so I'm gonna make my update here to the orb in terms of connecting with the boss, but I'm checking everything else first to make sure I haven't missed anything yet. This is the connecting with the Boss 1 tank, so when Gaki goes down below, picks up a tank and comes back up, we're making sure that if the katana or the EBP or the orb connect with the tank, it will run right here. But right now nothing occurs to this. There's no hit points taken off. You only get the sound of impacting the tank, and we create basically a bullet impact on the tank. So same with the tank that drops. Technically right now that's a new object. I could potentially put that into one sprite and make it one object, and or have two sprites and just change the sprite index, but in the spirit of trying to get it done and get this first level completed, I did this. I may go back in and address this when I do some code cleanup. So for now, I think we're good right there. Oh, I wanted to update this with Object Skycurser Katana. If script, okay, Skycurser Katana. I did check on it, but you can check again. It's been a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of code in here. This is if the Boss 1 attack exists. Boss 1 attack is this. It's the lightning bolt with, what comes out with that are the orbs. So that's what that particular piece is. If that exists, then and we've recently destroyed the boss, then destroy the lightning attack. Okay, so I'm seeing a little bit of code that I can save right here. I'm going to go ahead and update that right now since I see it. So I can just run an else right here, replace what I have with an else, because it's the opposite of this guy right here. Okay, I'm going to make sure that this particular block is inside of the script check that we just created, because I don't want the Skycurser Katana hit counter to go up unless it's the actual katana that's connecting. Off the top of my head, I'm not exactly sure what that is. I think the main thing that does is checks to see if the katana has already connected with the boss on the current swipe. Because the katana never gets destroyed when it connects with the boss, it should only ever hit the boss once and not hit the boss on every step as it's going through the boss. So this was a check to see if it was connecting there. I only want to increment that if the current object that's calling the script is the katana. Going to see if I can get some other music that's similar to what we have currently playing. bit. Again, that music has been recorded, has been created and recorded by Chris. Chris is one of the other guys on the project with me. If you want to know more about Chris, you can follow him. He's on Instagram a lot. Also, he's the one who posts to our Tumblr all the time. So check him out there and just see what he's up to. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add the code right here for the impact of the orb. And let's make sure we're on the right track here. Good. We're taking a look at the Object Boss 1 attack orb, and we're seeing that when it's finally been deflected by the katana, if default flight is equal to true, this block of code runs, else basically it's been deflected by the katana, the flip has occurred, and we're on a regular basis through this step we're calling the script weapon attack. So at this point we know that we're passing the Object Boss 1 attack orb in, so we can check for that with the script that we had just created. So I'm going to write that code here. Apparently I accidentally closed my script. Let me open that real quick. Here we are. Weapon attack. And we're on the boss, which is right here. I'm going to look for the particular object that I just passed in. If script object type of the argument 0.id is equal to object boss 1 attack orb. And do this. And I can actually just say width, not width as in width versus height, but width. The argument 0.id. We already have checked at this point if this particular object has connected. So this is the check for the connection. We do the instance place. We see if the object orbs X and Y position have connected with the boss in any way. If it has, we set hit boss 1 equal to the current object that we're working on. It actually controls the object boss 1 attack counter if the hit for boss 1 does not equal no 1, and hit boss katana hit counter is equal to 0. And let me see this for 1 second because I think I want to make this check. I don't want this to occur right here anymore. I'll come back to that in just 1 second because I want to make sure that the orb successfully connects the way it should. But I am okay with going ahead and writing with argument 0 instance destroy because I know I am controlling just the current boss 1 attack orb. But I fear that I'll never make it into here because katana hit counter never occurs on the boss, specifically for the orb. Right now the boss blinks every 10 hits. I want to update that as well, so I want to say hit boss 1.hit counter. I actually just want to say hit boss 1 dot flashing equals true. Because this will make the boss flash. So a minute ago I said that this particular variable right here is an instance variable, and it's in charge of the current weapon that's passed through, but I was incorrect when I said that. It's controlling this if there is actually a collision. So it controls object boss 1, so when I say hit boss 1.flashing equals true, I'm actually saying that I want the variable on boss 1 that is flashing to be set to true. And what this does, boss 1 already knows what to do. If he's flashing, he only flashes for a few steps. But anytime that warp connects with the boss, I would like for it to flash. So if the boss has greater than 0 hit points, we run this. Otherwise, which the final choice is simply a specific impact that is set at the top of the file. Final choice, choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the impacts that can occur. Those are all 4 blood impacts. So run a final choice or create an instance of one of those blood impacts if hit points are greater than 0. If hit points are less than 0, I don't want to be able to connect with Skycurser anymore on any particular enemy. I basically want Skycurser to be invincible without setting him to invincible. So I need to do a couple things here. And I need to make sure that everything that could kill Skycurser after Skycurser is dead does not kill Skycurser. And some things that are related to that are the Object Boss 1 Attack, which is the Lightning Bolt, Object Boss 1 Attack Orb, and the Floating Eyeballs, which I believe is Object Enemy 2. Let me just verify that. Yep, Object Enemy 2. Object Enemy 2. And destroy those if they exist. So here's Object Enemy 2. Probably seen it already. It's the Floating Eyeball. Kind of looks like a jellyfish. If that guy exists, destroy him. He is one of the enemies that can exist while Skycurser, while you're fighting Jackie. Destroy enemies that could exist. One more thing I wanted to do here, which makes sure that this isn't running right here. Script check for the katana. If the hit boss does not equal no 1, run this. But we also have to have the Object Skycurser katana and the hit counter equal to 0. I'm not too sure if that's going to be too greedy, and in terms of blocking the ability to come in here. I know there's a way to solve this, and I know what it is off the top of my head, but I'd like to do it all in one line here if I can. Hit boss 1 does not equal no 1. I think I have to do this way. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Should connect. It's just basic. Should connect equals true. Then pull this out. If this guy, jump places. this guy exists. Then should connect equals false. I'm actually going to say if it's greater than 0, then should connect equals false. I definitely want to say, basically, if true, run. I don't want to get into a position where I'm saying if false, then run. So I'm going to say if should connect, if this evaluates to true, which it should by default, but then if it comes in and we're working with the Skycurser Katana, and I guess we need to run this after hitboss1 exists. So hitboss1 exists right there. Just go ahead and set this so we have these together. This should connect together, but I needed the hitboss1 to be set so I can run this. Hitboss1.katana hit counter is greater than 0, then should connect equals false. Basically, the katana hit counter gets reset when the katana makes its way all the way around and finishes its animation. It will, the second that it connects, it will increment the hit counter, and then it should no longer increment the hit counter until it's been reset. And so we reset it when it finishes its animation. And we don't, at that point, as soon as it's connected, the hit counter is greater than 0, so we should not connect anymore. That's why we set should connect equal to false on the boss. That's the case, so I think we're in a good spot there. Because mainly the thing is I don't want this to run. I don't want what's in here to be set if it's not the katana that's running the call, that's running the script. So I always want it to be set to true in all other instances. I'm destroying the object boss1 attack orb the second it connects with the boss. So, not worrying about. I'm not really worrying about if the boss1 attack orb connects more than once, because the second that it connects, it will be destroyed. Turn the volume down just a tad bit. It's hard to get that right. Have two sounds going at once here. I don't like that. I'm trying to fix that. Sorry about that. I think they were maybe playing at the same time, Chris, in case you were still watching that. Let's try this again. That should be better. Can you turn the light on the front porch, babe? I don't know. Okay, cool. I think we've got everything the way we needed to here with Gaki. Since we just touched a lot of code, I'm sure we might get into a situation where we may have, introduced a bug. So that's perfectly fine. If it does, we'll just address it and try again. Let's go ahead and view what we've created. I've got about 30 minutes on time, so I think we're in a good spot right now. Let's just see where this is at. Turn the sound off because we're getting ready to go in game. Okay, good. I think we've got the game captured.
Skycurser. Death at dusk. Go.
Since we're at the point of testing, I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward directly to technical. Okay, I'm going to fast forward all the way. Move as far as ahead of time. Stage 1. Ooh, bug apparently. Line 236. Board. Line 236 from our script. We're going to address that. 236, right around where the boss was. What did we mess up here? I successfully deflected the katana. I saw that. And so the reason why I'm a little confused is because I should be dealing with the orb code and not the katana code. So I may have to run this again to see exactly what's happening and why we're having some trouble here. I don't immediately see what the problem is, so I'm going to run this again. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and run it again. Okay, gonna fast forward.
Death at dusk. Go.
Okay, so I spent a minute reading that error, and I think the error is occurring inside the step event of the orb. Line 19. I copied the error, so I'm going to go ahead and paste that somewhere where I can read it a little bit better. My text editor. Okay, so the problem is that it wasn't able to find an instance of the katana. Oh, really? So we're passing self.id in. The self is the boss 1 attack orb. Back to the weapon attack. It's complaining about not being able to find the Skycurser katana. Maybe what I'll do... Maybe what I'll do is say if object exists. Object Skycurser katana. See if that handles it, because what it should do is if it doesn't find the instance right here, it should bail out of this if statement and then just keep passing here. Should never hit this if it doesn't find Skycurser katana. Okay, let's try that.
Mission 1. Death at dawn.
Okay, again, I'm just going fast forward straight to the boss. See if we handle this. We got past it, and we got a new error. So line 255, looking for another object index. Okay. Two 255. It's odd that it can't find the final choice here. I don't like that. It's kind of annoying that it's doing that. But let me just go if instance exists, final choice, do the same thing, basically checking for the object that got set up here to the variable final choice. Final choice should easily be set by one of these 4 variables up here. And so what we're just doing here is that we're checking for the instance of whatever one of those objects was created. And let's see. Or sorry. So we're choosing. We have 4 choices here at the top. There are 4 different objects. Choose randomly selects one of these objects. We're setting one of those objects to a variable. we're not actually, it hasn't been created up to this point, but we're going to create it with the impact that occurs here. And so we create it with the connection when we actually connect with Gaki on a collision. So we're just going to do a check to make sure we have an instance of this final choice, and I think I might like the idea to say if object exists a little bit better, because it should, I mean the object should exist. It should be able to find the object when it connects. So again, let's go test and run. This is kind of how we have to do it whenever we get into a point of being stuck. I don't have any sort of additional modes where I can just go in as an admin and test these over and over again, so I have to kind of play through the level really quickly, and that's why I've created the fast forward mode, the speed engine, to get there.
Mission 1, Death at Dawn. Go!
Yes, the answer to that is yes. I do have a green screen. I have to do some crazy lighting with it, especially when it's night out. So I know I've got to figure out what to do about that. Thanks for the heads up, though. I definitely appreciate it. All right. I got to think through what's going on here, because I'm not exactly sure why it keeps failing. I've got an idea here. It failed in the same spot even though I checked for the object. I guess I'll check for the instance. I'll do that first. And the next thing I'll do is also I'm going to set argument 0 dot impact equal to true. I'll set boss impact equal to true. And then if it's true on that end, I'll destroy it on that end. If boss impact is equal to false, go ahead and run this. else. It has impacted with the boss. So instance destroy. Let's try that. I think basically what the problem is. I just got a follow. Thanks for the follow. I'll follow up with you here in just a little bit.
Skycurser. Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
Sorry about that. Went straight into it went straight into attract mode like I was talking about at the beginning of the stream. And so I wanted to hop out of there real quick and keep it moving right into game mode. So I haven't finished building attract mode, and I'm working on that still.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
This with the change that I just made. Got it. Okay, we got it. Alright, so that was the main goal of the stream today, was to make sure that was exactly the way it needed to be. Also, one thing I want to check, I did write a lot of code to make sure you get extra kills if you kill anything with an EBP missile, so I'll go ahead and check that right now while I'm thinking about it, so that I can basically write this task off and call it done.
Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
That might be right. Okay. I'll try to fix that really quick. Okay, so the way that I know to do this, best will be to I believe is going to be to set a variable on each one of the objects, and then change that variable before incrementing the score. And because I haven't gotten to the task of object inheritance yet, I'm going to have to set that on each one of the enemies, so let me do that fairly quickly. Ghost missile impact. Let's just call it GM impact. EBPM impact. Eyeball plane missile impact equals false. Eyeball plane missile impact. Okay. Enemy 2. Create. Enemy 3. Create event. Enemy 4. Create event. Enemy 5. Create event. Okay. Do I need to add this to the boss? No. How about the tank? Yes. If I haven't already done that, I don't think I have. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 enemies sounds right. We're not dealing with the Necro Star in any score there. You can't have an EBP missile connect with the boss, so I think we've got everything covered. Save, 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 save. And the last thing I'll do here is probably write another script so I can reuse properly. If script EBPM impact and pass in hit, whatever particular object that is hit at the current moment. So I'm going to create that script. Script EBPM impact. If argument 0 dot EBPM impact is equal to false, then set it to true. Argument 0 dot EBPM impact equals true, but I want to return as well. I want to return on this. So I want to say increment score equals false, and then increment score equals true, and then return increment score. So I'm setting increment score to false by default. If argument 0.EBPM impact is equal to false, set it to true so it can't be set again, and then increment the score is true. So you can't increment the score more than once because initially it'll be false. It will only be set to increment once ever, and so that should prevent us from having to worry about what might occur here. Okay, I'm going to hit save on this because this should be highlighting as soon as I come back into here. Verify that. Yep, it is. So now I just add this score, add this check to all the other ones. Let me just verify. We don't want it to connect with the EVP Ghost Missile. I'm actually just going to do a double if here and script EBPM impact at the hit. Okay, and take this guy off so I don't have to add additional curly braces at the end. Just got to copy this guy, drop him where necessary. This is the FEB, in other words hit 2. The popcorn eyeball, add this to the popcorn eyeball, which I've got marked as hit 3 in here. Add this to the fly, hit 4. Add this to okay, so this will have to be the actual if here. So if hit 5A, score plus equals 1. Okay, go and here, tank, we should go hit 5. Hit 5 for the carrier. Okay, good. Carrier eyeball. I'll have to go update that right now. Let's go ahead and do that. Object tank 1, eyeball. I think I'm incrementing the score here. Death by Ghost Missile. Pass in argument 0.id. Pass in argument 0.id for this guy, or self.id, because I'm actually in the object itself, and that will handle it appropriately. But I got to make sure EBPM impact is on this particular object, which it's not currently. Impact equals false. Got it. Thanks, Chris. All right. So that should be handled. Okay, we're good there. Let's go back and continue. So we're on the carrier eyeball. We've taken care of that one already. We just took care of it. Necrostar doesn't count. Necrostar 2 doesn't count. Boss doesn't count. Boss 1 orb attack, Boss 1 tank drop don't count. What was this one? Hit 5. Okay. Accidentally undid that, so save. Okay, I think we're in a good spot there. I just got word that the hit impact is up on drive. So I'm going to go get that real quick. The orb impact. I'll let you see my screen, see what I'm doing. Great. I'll be done in a minute. Chris, where is that orb impact? I can't see it. Okay, so if you're just joining us, I'm simply waiting for an orb impact. I know Chris is working on the impact that the orb has with the boss right now. So let's take a look at that. Sprites. Effects. Okay, so I'm still waiting on that. Let me see if there's anything else here that I need to make sure. I'm going to mark this as done. Go to our Trello board. All right, Chris. Okay, taking a look at chat. Sprites, bosses, got it. Sprites, bosses. Sprites, bosses. I think it's the Orb Explode update. That's what it looks like. Download this guy. Extract it. Upload the orb impact. We'll put this with this guy. Create sprite. Sprite, orb, impact, load sprite. Remove background. I'm going to set the X position, or the point of origin on this to the center. By the center, looks like it's offset just a little bit, so 32, 33, 32. Make sure that stays center. Yep. Okay, hit OK on that. Go create an object for that. Under impacts, create object, orb object, orb impact, associate it to the sprite that I just created. Add an event, other, animation end. So when the animation ends, I'm just going to use the default instance destroy yourself, hit OK. Okay, and then do one more thing to the weapon attack, the sprite, the script weapon attack. Let me look at the EBP impact. We're good there. Weapon attack here. Down at the orb. So there's a blood explosion, if that exists. And I think that's what we got to hold on to and update really quickly. So let's do that. Do our script check. If let's check for object orb impact. No. Object boss 1 attack orb. Else run everything else. Yeah. Instance create object orb impact. And that's all we have to do. So basically when the orb connects with the boss, at that orb's XY position, we create object orb impact, which just has an animation end event, and on the animation end event, the action that we're taking is instance destroy. So it should destroy the instance as soon as the speed of it is finished playing. Now I may slow it down just a little bit, and I think I will. Just by default, the animations are a little bit quick, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a create event. Create and pull in the code for it, and just say image speed equals 0.40, because I usually go off of 100, so or one. It goes from 0 to 1, and I usually use the trailing zeros. So say OK, and take a look and see what that does. That might be it. Okay, we're compiling. We're waiting for it to finish. Okay, it just finished for me.
Skycurser. Mission 1. Death at dusk.
Okay, here we go. Let's test this impact. Oh yeah. Felt like this. Good enough for me. Hope you like that, Chris. Okay, I think we're in a good spot with that. So, short of some minor updates, I'm going to go ahead and mark that one as complete, and that'll be my last thing that I do for the stream today. Going to take care of that right now. Okay, going to Trello. Complete. Ready for code review. Comment. Done. And I'll drop that in code review. And actually, since I'm the only programmer on this right now, I'm just going to drop it to complete because I'll be reviewing my own code as I go on. So generally, if I had another programmer alongside me, they would then at this point review the code that I had written. And since I've got that to a good state, I'm going to go ahead and open Bash. Get bash in particular so that I can push that to the branch. So you'll see right here that our current branch is set to SC6. My goal is to make sure that it shows that I have made some updates. Get status shows if you've made updates. It looks like we have. Get add anything that's there. Waiting for that update. Still waiting. Okay, then I'm going to do a get commit -a so I can make a comment. Finished updating Katana deflection. Right, quit, and push. Push that to the branch. And again, since no one else is doing code review for my project, I think I'm able now to just go ahead and check out dev, and I could just merge what I have on my machine to into dev, but I'll do this the way that I would do it if I was working remotely from the repository and remotely from the branch that was just pushed. So what it's come up against at this instant is it's trying to write the videos that have been added for attract mode, and that's taken a minute. Obviously it's on 3% at the moment. So what I think I'll do for now, I'll just talk through what the rest of it is, and then I'll call it the end of the stream. Open it up for any questions for about a minute or two if anybody has anything, and then I'll call it a day, and we'll be on tomorrow. So as soon as it's finished, what I'll do is I'll be switching over to the dev branch that I have. I follow, I'll show you exactly the kind of pattern that I follow in terms of get best practices. And here it is. A successful Git branching model. Basically, I create feature branches and then a dev branch. The dev branch, once I finish creating a feature branch, I push that to the Git repo, and then I open up my dev branch, and then I fetch and pull into the dev branch. I also have a staging and master branch. Once dev is in a good place and it has been tested, and what I'll do right now to get that tested is I'll hand that off to Chris and a couple of other guys who do game testing for us, and they will spend a lot of hours on that game and make sure that build is stable. If there's anything that's found, then we open up a bug and we fix what's on that bug, which would be similar to a feature branch. And then we, once we know that that is stable, we open up the master branch and then merge. We basically pull whatever is in dev into master, and so we know that it's stable at that point. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. In particular, I'll probably go as far as the dev branch. As soon as that's finished, I'll export from GameMaker. And in GameMaker, basically, I have a couple of settings where I switch back and forth between the platforms that I'm on. I have keyboard and arcade built in at the moment, so when I'm ready to export for the arcade, I'll just say arcade here, and then I'll save this as a single runtime executable, and I'll save it with today's date. And then as soon as that's saved, I'll take it over to Google Drive and drop it in our Skycurser executable folder, where we have most of our builds as we're going through the process of building them. So that's basically where Chris and the other game testers can pull it and begin testing on it from there. So that's about all I got. I don't think this is going to finish anytime soon. It looks like it's going to be a few minutes. So I'll go ahead and open this up to any questions. If anybody has anything, I'm glad to answer. And I think right now, based on what I can see, there's no questions that I missed, and I don't think we're going to have any additional questions. So I'll go ahead and call this a stream. And if you join us tomorrow or over the next couple of weeks, you're going to see that I'm doing some code cleanup in a major way. And I'll also be working on some of the attract mode, and I will also be adding our supers to specifically the Vulcan cannon before MGC. So our goal is to get the super update in before MGC because we're taking a cabinet to MGC and we want to demo it. And that's particular. You can meet up with us April 11th and 12th. We'll be at MGC with our cabinet. And be glad to see you if you guys want to come check us out. Also, if you want to follow us for stream, to know when we're going on stream, follow us on Twitter. We broadcast there every time we're going live. And also, Tumblr is a good place for, we call it our development blog. Basically, we show updates to all the new objects and sprites and specifically enemies that we're building into the game. So you'll get the first look at it before it even gets put into the game, what I'm doing here. So I think that's it. Thanks, Chris, for helping me today. Again, I see Chris is asking me what's on the docket for tomorrow. Tomorrow, I just mentioned some of those things. We're going to do some code cleanup and also get started on finishing attract mode and adding the supers. So all right, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and thanks for tuning in.